Brightest Blessings, this is Raven, and today we're going to have a little chinwag and do some stamping. I've already started. I had to start filming again because Douglas decided he was going to be a pain in the bum. So all I've been doing is using some text to add some interest to these scraps of coffee dyed paper, using these. I wanted to use some of this darker one now. So I figured today we'd just have a nice chill out and have a little chat, really. It's been a while. I've been super busy getting things ready for camp, so that's why I haven't been able to film as much as I would have liked. And unfortunately, when my fibromyalgia is bad, I can't concentrate enough to film properly. It ends up being garbled, so I do apologise for everybody that's waiting for videos from me. I'm just going to give this a clean because I've done quite a few of that stamp now. This was from a magazine, this one. Quite a nice little set. I can't remember what magazine it was though, I'm afraid. Put that back in there. Let's try this new Tim Holtz one that I've bought. And because this one's larger, I can probably get away with doing a few at a time. So, how have you all been? I know it's been a little while. The last video I posted was the giveaway video. If you haven't seen that, go along to the shorts section on my YouTube channel and all the details are on there. This is looking lovely. I really needed to get some of these out of the way because my little tub is so, I mean, this is the tub and I obviously had all of that in there. So that's those darker ones. Let's do some more of the lighter ones but with this text block. I've been working really hard on getting new digitals in the shop as well. I don't know if any of you guys have been over to my Etsy shop, but there's been quite a few new kits on there where I've been busy making artwork and things. I've been focusing on those, so we will get there. I'm not sure if this, yeah, it doesn't really show up on these darker ones. Let's do a couple more light ones and then I'll go back to the darker. So we've got some of that colour. Let's mix it with some of this. And the idea isn't that things are perfect because I'm going to be stamping things on the top. Let's go to this dark one. And I'm turning it so that it's not always in the same position. Because it's only for adding interest, it's not really for anything else. I'll leave these smaller ones because they're for words really, and we'll concentrate on these. Right, so we've got all these strips now. that have got a background. Just use a wipe to get as much off as I can. So I managed to order this set from Tim Holtz. I absolutely adore his stamp sets. I've got a couple. I desperately need to get some more, but they are quite pricey. So I'm waiting for the Patreon to pick up a little bit so that I can get some more things to do more stamping. And the Etsy, obviously I've stopped putting the journals on there for now because I'm obviously busy creating digital products, but I'm also busy getting things ready for camp. I'm going to a pagan camp in August and having a stall there. Sorry, I'm just going to have a quick drink of water. So because of that, I'm busy trying to get everything ready for my stall there. And there's only so much I can do in one go. So let's have a look. Let's pick this Mr. Bug. I know I want to make some more bug journals, so see, look at that, and then I can just snip that, and that's something interesting. I'm leaving a gap between, so that then I'm going to do like the edge of one. Because all I'll do then is cut these and use them as embellishments or add them to tags or whatever. Pardon me. Let's do a couple more of him because he's cute. Getting one off the edge. Lovely. So we've done some of him. I've had quite a lot of feedback from the shadow work that we did last week or the week before, whenever it was, and I really appreciate the feedback. So if you haven't seen that one, look down in previous videos where I talk about shadow work, and there's freebies that you can get on there, freebie worksheets for you to begin your shadow work. Ooh, I think I like that one better than the other one. I really do like the Tim Holtz stamps because they're so detailed. And I thought, as we're having a chinwag today, we can maybe talk about grounding, because that's part of shadow work as well. And if you're on the Patreon, in the next few days, you'll see the Book of Shadows pages that I've made for it. I will upload those over the weekend, most likely, so that you can print those out for the information and use them in your Books of Shadows, or you could just use the information and remake your own pages. But if you don't know what grounding essentially is enabling yourself to be connected to the earth. So I tend to ground first thing in the morning, and I also ground before rituals, before doing spell work, before doing shadow work, and I also do it if I'm feeling stressed or anxious. I find it really does help with a lot of those feelings. And grounding essentially is being able to connect with the earth. Most people will do that via what I call rooting, which is where you will plant your feet on the ground and you will imagine roots going down from your feet into the earth, curling around rocks and stones and boulders and things underground. And that is how you anchor yourself to the earth. I also do that quite often. I see myself as a tree. That's usually the easiest method I find. See myself as a tree with my roots going down, but I also see my branches from the top of my head spread out into the universe and anchoring me to the planets and the moon and stars and, you know, the energy of the universe. This really does help with my anxiety. As I said, I suffer quite badly with anxiety a lot of the time because of my fibromyalgia. I quite often feel like I'm being judged because of my fibromyalgia. And if you have the issue yourself, you'll know what I mean. Because it's not a visible illness all the time, people tend to judge you and think that you're actually okay when you're not. Today, for example, I am probably at a 6 pain level. My head isn't 100%. I'm a little bit dizzy at times. I really like that. I'm going to do that one again. But because physically I look fine, there isn't, you know, an outward appearance of being disabled. I get judged quite a lot. It's the same if I go out and I have to use my wheelchair, or if I'm in an electric scooter or something. Because I'm only 35, a lot of people sort of look at me and think, oh, she's obviously just doing that because of her weight. Obviously, I'm a bigger lady, so I can understand why people might think that. But it would be nice if people would be a little bit more understanding. And sometimes that's just not the case, is it? And it's not just with fibromyalgia, it's with lots of disabilities and issues that we have these days. The world is a very judgmental place, and I find the grounding really helps me because I can rely on the energy of Mother Earth and the universal energies to anchor me so that the anxiety isn't so bad. So as I said, I will upload the grounding information and sheets to Patreon. I will upload them all for free this time. You can just go over to Patreon. You don't need to pay if you don't want to. And scroll down and you'll find them along there. Just click or hold click and save. And that's those for you. But I will say, if you are interested in more sorts of things like that, there is quite a great deal on my Patreon, but obviously those are for paid members. Although there is a minimum of what I post every month, I'm terrible and have posted double the amount within sort of a few days of opening the Patreon, just because I love sharing so much. So it really is worth getting the subscription if you're able to. And if you're not, as I said, there's plenty of freebies on there for people. Some people believe that grounding takes a long time to do, and it really doesn't. It takes me a good 5 minutes on a morning. You don't have to be outside, but obviously that helps. What I tend to do is go outside for a cup of tea first thing in the morning. No shoes on, feet on the grass, and I will literally just take some time to imagine those roots spreading out underneath me and the branches spreading above me. by doing that each day, it just helps me to feel more grounded, more in tune with things. And that's what I need, really. A lot of these stamps are a lot bigger now, and I don't think they'll fit, so I might have to redo some of the other ones. Which ones did I not do as many of? I don't mind if they go off a little bit. That's fine too. Perfection isn't what I'm looking for. Hello, Douglas. Are you going to have a sleep? Because you've been running me ragged all day, haven't you? Running me ragged all day. And actually, when you think about these strips, they would be quite nice lefter strips as well, and perhaps just sewn down a page or something. I think I might just do his little head. There we go. So that's literally taken, what, 5 minutes? And I've done half a dozen strips with bugs on. And that wasn't too difficult, was it? So here's all the strips. Look, that's plenty. And I can do a variety of things with those. The likelihood is they will stay like this, and they'll just be put in my little entomology. What's it? Let me get it. Come hither. So yeah, I tend to keep set projects in these A4 files. So these are some of my digitals here with bugs on. And then I've got some various other bits and bobs from other people that I've sorted, but it's all sort of specimens, entomology style things. That's a piece of Tim Holtz paper that I folded that I didn't use for something else. So yeah, it'll all get chucked in there, and then when I come down to making my bug journals, it's all together. So I can put that back. There we are. Now, what are the scraps? We've got this, which I can do things on. And some of these. And this is from a file folder. That might be nice to do some things on too. I've got some shimmery bits of cardstock from where I've been doing backings. So let's see what we can fit on these pieces. Let's have a look. I always like to start with some sort of backing on these sorts of things, just so that then I've got a base. I mean, this, for like this one, I won't do a backing on because it's obviously already got lots in the background. And I don't necessarily need to do it on these either, but we'll see how this looks in a second. Let's go with the sepia ink, I think. Move these out of the way, get myself all cluttered up. I like that side. And as I said, it's not supposed to be perfect, that's sort of the point. I've got some sepia ones. These green ones. I have got some green. I don't know how well it will show up though. It's only a little one. Let's see how we do. Oh. Actually, yeah, that's quite nice because it's quite light and in the background, which is what we want. Sometimes I like it dark, other times I want it a bit further in the background. So that's perfect. I'll do the same again on this one. And I find with these little pads it's easier to do it this way round. So I'm finding that the channel is reaching mostly pagans at the moment, which is perfectly fine. And I tend to find that most pagans are crafty people as well, which is excellent. But I wanted to point out that the main reason I craft is for my mental health. I have suffered with depression and various other mental health problems over the years, and I find doing the crafting really helps centre my mind and is my way of grounding. So by doing that, I feel a lot more grounded to the earth and rooted in my own abilities. Perfection. I might just do some on that side, but not that end. Perfect. And I spend pretty much at least half an hour every day at my craft table. Just half an hour is enough. I mean, to be honest, 10 minutes is enough if you've got something small you can do. It's just enough to allow your mind to wander a little. Let's get some more bugs back. Sorry, sorting the dog out. Yeah, bugs. I think what I'm going to do, because this is... Excuse my arms reaching for my scissors. I'm just going to cut this in half. But I think this wrapping paper would look nice with butterflies on. So I might get those out of... This is the other one that I ordered recently that I really liked. But I think this, yeah, will fit nicely there. A little bit difficult to see, but I don't plan to use this as a whole piece. I would cut around them. Lovely jubbly, that's that one. I have to get another wipe in a minute, I think. Oh, how are you all coping with the heat if you're in the UK? It's knocking me for 7, I know that much. It really has. I don't know how people cope in warmer countries. I know it's slightly different over here because it's quite humid in the UK when it's hot. But even today it's relatively cooler than it has been, and I'm still not coping all that well, if I'm honest. Right. I need some more kitchen towel. Get myself organised a smidgen. Put those out the way. Right, I'm going to do some brown ones this time. And because we've got a larger area, I can use some of these larger bugs. Ooh, lovely. Creepy crawlies. Sorry if you're not a big lover of bugs and I'm just sat here chucking them all at you on the screen. It was a case of I need to film, I need to have a chinwag with my YouTube pals. What can I do that isn't gonna take a great deal of effort on my part, because I'm really not able to do too much today. And this was what I came up with. Lovely jubbly. I'm hoping I'll be able to do some more videos about my journals and things at some point, but I am wary, as I said earlier, that a lot of the people on my channel are pagan, so they're here for the pagan info more than they are the craft side of things. I might pick a different bug to go on there. Which is why I thought we'd have a little chat about grounding. Another thing that I like to do grounding wise is water with salt in. You don't have to have salt, but I like the salt because the salt gives me something to hold on to in the water. And essentially means that I can do the same sort of thing as you do with the rooting, but in the water. I like to do that in the sea as well, and natural bodies of water. But if I can't for whatever reason, then I really, really enjoy just getting, you know, a tub of water and putting my feet in there and grounding that way. Quite sure what this bug is supposed to be, but no matter. I'll do it slightly sideways. Try and get him on a bit better. That's better. I think we'll just do that way. Lovely jubbly. So I've used nearly all. This is the only one I haven't used now. I'm not quite sure what he's supposed to be either, to be honest. And these sorts of pieces where I've done the background so dark, although you can't see the stamp all that well, when it's used as part of an embellishment, so it may be part of a word, so I might have this in the background and then a word across. It just adds that little bit of interest. So if you don't stamp something perfectly, really don't worry about it. It can still be used. Lovely. Right, so I think we're done on the bug front, you'll be pleased to know, for those who aren't keen. So let's put him away. Because otherwise I won't be able to work, because there's a million and one things on my desk. I've got journal covers drying and all sorts of nonsense. Right, let's do some of these because I've got them out, so I might as well, mightn't I? Let's move all this to the side. There we go. So I've got this Tim Holtz set, which is the Field Notes ones, and you can see I use this a lot because it's falling apart. But there's some, I think that's going to be too big to go on there. We'll give it a try. Let's have a go. That's the only thing about these sorts of stamps that I don't like, is that you can't see through, and they're not always in the exact place the picture is. Sorry if my head's in shot. Oh no, actually, I quite like that. That's these sorted then, because I hate cutting around circles. And again, they don't have to be perfect. It really doesn't matter. If you ever go to the post office, you'll know what I mean. They don't ever stamp anything 100% perfectly every single time. One more and then we'll move on to another circle stamp. Where was it? This one I wanted to use. And this one's only tiny, so I can decide I can leave them as they are, or I can cut round them if I fancy cutting round them. The nice thing is that they're stickers, so I haven't got to fiddle about too much with glue and what have you. There we are. So we've got lots of labels there. I've got this random piece. Where did I put the scissors? There. That bit's not going to be of any use. I'll just roughly cut the white off because I don't want the white part. And this is the sorts of scraps that I end up with a lot because of making the journals and things. If I'm decorating the inside of a journal, I'll end up with lots of raggedy pieces like that. See what we can fit on here. Probably get a couple of specimen ones on. And then I think I'm going to move on to my dates and things. And again, it really doesn't matter if it's perfect or not. Ah, sticky, sticky. And then what I like to do is get numbers or dates and put them inside. So I've got a couple of those. To be fair, I'm not overly low on these because I haven't had any journals to send out on the Etsy. This is usually the sort of thing that I send out as a freebie. So if you ever order a journal from me on the Etsy, these are the sorts of free gifts you'll get, where I've stamped and then cut them all out and done things with them. Because not everybody can get hold of stamps and dates and things, and especially if you're a YouTube watcher, which obviously you are because you're watching this, you see somebody do a project like you're seeing me do this and you think, actually, I really want that stamp set, but you can't get hold of the stamp set for whatever reason. I like to send out what I can send out anyway, just so that everybody gets a chance. Like, these are from a journal that I've done as well with one of my digitals, with like a watercolour forest in the background, so they might be quite fun to do as well. Looking at what else I've got I can use. They're not really ones I want to use. Okay, let's go back to this. I'm going to finish these and then that'll be the video done for today. And I think I'm going to use this colour. So yeah, if you like doing the craft videos, do let me know. I know it's not for everybody. As I said, I understand that a lot of you come over from a pagan point of view and you want information and you want to look at books of shadows and things. But you have to bear in mind that the way I get my books of shadows to look the way that I do is by doing things like this. So this is quite often the sorts of things I will cut up and add to my books of shadows to add interest and, you know, to make flips and things. Because if you're the sort of person like me and you like things to be decorative, everything gets a bit samey sometimes. So if I'm doing, say, a page on, I don't know, the element of earth, I can include bug stickers and stamps in that. All of the things I've used today I could use. Or perhaps you are into bugs anyway and you want to research the magic of bugs and find different ways of decorating. And my bug journal is, it's one of those things, the bug journal that I want to make for myself, I want to have some bug magic and things in. But I'm going to make it to the point that I love it that much that I may not want to use it. And that's always my biggest fear when I make things, that I'm going to make them and then I'm not going to want to use them because I love them too much. Let's go with... do a couple of figures. Got this number. Try and get them relatively straight. And although the border on these is really light, it's enough for me. Got those. I've got these little flourishy things that might be nice. That's the only problem with these stamps, they're quite sticky. Lovely. I'll do a few more of those because I like those to be like a topper. They can finish off a project quite nicely. I'm really looking forward to going over to Pagan Camp. It's going to be the highlight of my year. I really, really can't wait because it just gives me a real sense of calm and I can relax. And although I'm doing a stall, being out in nature is my favourite thing. So it gives me the chance to just sit in a beautiful field amongst like-minded people, enjoying what Mother Earth has provided. But there'll be lots of other stalls there as well, so I'll be shopping, no doubt. And the kids are really excited to go. They love camping. So, yeah. If you've never been to a pagan camp, I really would advise you to try and get to one if you can. Especially if you're a new person to paganism, because it gives you a really good idea of the variety of people that you can meet, the variety of paths that there are in paganism. And quite often when you first start out you do feel quite alone, and going to a camp is always a good way. So yeah, there we are then, guys. I will post all the links as usual below for all my socials. So Patreon, which is where the grounding freebies will be, my Facebook, my Etsy shop, and I will also post the link to the short for the giveaway. So that's the video you need to comment on to be entered into the giveaway itself. It's the short video with my face on, and there are no other videos with my face on, so you'll know which one it is, but I will link it below. And as I said before, all you need to do is like the video and go to my Etsy shop, see which of my digi-kits you like the best, and just let me know which ones you like the most. And then once we reach 1,000 subscribers, I will announce 2 winners, and they will win all of my digital kits for free. So yes, that's me for today. I hope to speak to you all again soon. I'm hoping to do some more shadow work with you next week.